Led to the bridge of the invisible hand and binders, the Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, as well as Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, were in what appeared to be a hopeless situation. Captured and confronted by one of the greatest warriors and Jedi killers of the Clone Wars in Grievous, with their lightsabers commandeered by the general and having been surrounded by battle droids, the situation was a precarious one, even for the duo of Obi-Wan and Anakin. However, as we'll see, the Jedi were never going to lose this battle aboard the Invisible Hand and become the prisoners of the Separatists, or encounter an even worse result, as it was at this point that Obi-Wan fell completely into the light and briefly became the most powerful Jedi warrior in the galaxy. In this video expose, I will explain why Obi-Wan and Anakin were able to escape their capture aboard Grievous's flagship so easily, through Obi-Wan experiencing a state of being known as oneness. As described in great detail within the Revenge of the Sith novelization, it's clear that Obi-Wan experienced a perfect state of union with the Force, or oneness with the light side, just prior to being brought before Grievous on the bridge of the Invisible Hand. Typically, such a state of being occurred only when a Force-sensitive individual died, and subsequently became one with the Force. Having achieved a state of oneness with the Force, Obi-Wan was able to momentarily become the most powerful warrior of the light within the galaxy, wherein he wasn't simply performing actions with the aid of the Force, but rather, he literally became an extension of the Force itself, a tool in which the Force could physically manifest itself. Through a perfect sense of calm and its resulting oneness, Obi-Wan wasn't required to reach into the Force, but quite the opposite, as the Force had reached into him. As he was brought face to face with Grievous, the Force was flowing throughout Obi-Wan so powerfully that it was questionable if the being known as Obi-Wan even existed. He'd really become less the Jedi Master who dedicated the last 3 years to fighting the Clone War, and more but a mere drop in an endless pool of the Force. In fact, the light side of the Force was so strong within the Jedi Master that he was able to momentarily experience the physical world without the presence of the dark cloud, the veil of the dark side, that was blinding the Jedi for more than a decade. Obi-Wan was able to experience a Force that was once again pure, clean, and perfect, as he'd known it from his younger days as a Padawan within the Jedi Temple. This brief moment of clarity allowed Obi-Wan to return himself to the full power of the light. In regard to the ability to allow Obi-Wan to escape, along with the freeing of Anakin and the Supreme Chancellor, this state of oneness allowed him to experience the bridge of the Invisible Hand, wherein everything around him was simultaneously a part of him and a part of the Force. From the battle droids surrounding him, to the steel and circuitry of the flagship, to the actual thoughts developing within the mind of Grievous, Obi-Wan had become those things, as he'd become one with the Force. Thus, he was able to adopt a sense of calm confidence as he was brought before the Separatist general, as he not only had the Force, but he'd literally become a conduit through which the Force spoke. Through this state of oneness, and having delved so deep into the Force, Obi-Wan was able to perform the intricate and complex actions that allowed him to break free of his binders and bring war to the Separatist forces upon the bridge, actions that the Jedi Master recognized had little chance of succeeding had he not achieved such a state. Although Grievous couldn't know exactly how Obi-Wan was able to do what he was doing, not being Force-sensitive himself, the Jedi Master's impressive abilities were not lost upon the general. The simplicity with which Obi-Wan was able to take control of the situation frightened even Grievous, forcing him to focus solely on surviving the battle and escaping the wrath of the one who appeared to have become the greatest Jedi warrior in the galaxy. So there we have it, how Obi-Wan was able to achieve oneness with the Force and become the greatest warrior of the light within the galaxy. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions? Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter at SW Reading Club for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel on Patreon for access to exclusive hangouts and book discussions. If not for me, for becoming one with the Force.